Hello. I'm gonna awkwardly sit here while there's no one here. In my lovely, lovely daily chat. How is everyone doing? Hopefully well. Today I'm drinking a lovely. Okay, so what are the leftovers? Not quite still is, but what are the leftovers of a wonderful London fog that I made for myself this morning? At like 2 p.m. It is 5. No, it is 5 p.m. I do know how to do maths. How was everyone's week? Mine has been uneventful, to say the least. I watched a lot. I discovered a brand new show called Death in Paradise. I have watched 3.5 seasons of it by this point. 2.5 seasons of it. I'm on season 3, episode 7. One of the most entertaining things I've ever seen in my life, I'm not gonna lie. So I spent the past 2 days simply sitting in my bed, not changing, not getting out of bed most of the day, sitting there watching this TV show and doing my knitting. And so I finished my first project yesterday evening. All that's left is to actually physically put it together, but because I'm out of the one thread that I'm supposed to actually use to put it together. I'm out of the white that I need to sew the sleeves on. It's not going to get put together anytime soon because the company from which I buy this yarn is out of this yarn. Very, very upsetting. I'm not going to lie. Hello, welcome to whoever just joined. Hopefully y'all are doing well. And to whoever just went off, that's also fine with me, I guess. And so what we're gonna do, what I'm gonna do, more accurately, y'all can do whatever you'd like. Hopefully y'all have your cup of tea, maybe some snacks. I know that it's breakfast, right? Good shit. Hopefully have some breakfast there, Nat. Because it's God knows how early, 9 a.m. Goodness gracious. But I spent the entirety of the day today, actually only most of the day, right? I got up I set an alarm for 6 a.m. because I always do my best work in the first thing in the morning. And I slept through that alarm, woke up at 7, rolled out of bed at 7:30, was at my laptop beginning to write my, working on my essay at 7:35, which very proud of myself. Usually I'm a lot more distracted in the mornings, but I have this essay due on Tuesday. And if you're around for the first stream, you'll remember that Chris, the academic, took his time and very, how would you put it? Very snarkily shared that he wanted to see me do one of these live streams when it's, the night before a deadline and I'm freaking out and it's 2 a.m. and I'm just, my mind's all over the place thinking about anything other than the essay that I have to write. And I'm very proud of myself, actually, because I have a whole ass 800 out of 4,000 words down on paper, right? I have 2/5. No, I'm 20% of the way there. Yeah. A fifth, right? Not 2/5, a fifth. I'm a whole ass fifth of the way there on this essay. More than 24 hours ahead of the deadline, which is a great achievement for me. I'm not gonna lie. Most of my essays are in fact written in the 24 hours before they're due, and I have read at least 5 sources already at this point, and I'm also very proud of myself for that. The amount of newspaper articles that I've looked up in the past 24 hours has been more than I have looked up for any other paper I've ever written as well, which is great. But the topic of this essay that I have to write is I have to do a conceptual, I have to do an analysis of a negotiation or a mediation that happened in world politics somewhere out in the global sphere. And I decided, in line with my dissertation and in line with like what I generally study, is that I decided to take a look at the Iranian hostage crisis. If you don't know what that is, that was an event that happened in between the years of 79 and 81, where the U.S. embassy in Tehran was ambushed and taken by a collective of students. And the result was that most of the skeleton crew that was left in that embassy, an original 72 persons, and then a final 52, or no, a final 54, I think it was, were stuck hostage in the embassy by the student group for 444 days. They got released on the day of Reagan's inauguration. But and so I'm doing this paper analysis on why, the mediation went the way it did, and why, this lasted for 444 days, and why the US behaved the way it did. And I'm supposed to do an analysis on like what could have everyone done better, why did this go the way it did. And so part of what I'm doing is that turns out there's like zero scholarly research that I can find that's accessible to me on the topic, specifically on the topic of the negotiation and mediation process that happened within the crisis. With like how did the thing get resolved? How did the crisis get resolved in the first place? And because there's virtually no actual scholarship on this, on like how did the process go and why, what made Iran and finally agree to it, it means that I have to go personally dig up all the events, create a timeline, find all the different demands, figure out what everyone was thinking myself, and like provide justification for that. And the result is that I've been spent half the day today digging in the New York Times archives, which thankfully I have a subscription to, bless. And I spent some time digging in the Times Magazine archives as well. Now, fun fact, Times Magazine named Ayatollah Khomeini, who was the political religious leader of the Iranian Revolution, Person of the Year in 1979, which is the year of the Iranian Revolution, which meant that I had a lovely primary source secondary source, because it was an interview with him, but some lovely quotations that I could pull on to try to extrapolate what was the will of the Iranian government at the time, and what was like the goals and whatnot. But I also read a lot about Jimmy Carter. What databases do I? Right, I use Google Scholar. I went and but the thing is that there's a lot of the issue is that there's a lot of scholarship about the Iranian crisis as like a foreign policy dilemma, or as about how, it's a big precedent in international trades law and banking law and all of that stuff, right? There's plenty of it as like a foreign policy, as a precedent, as whatever. There's very little about it in terms of a peace and conflict study perspective, which is the perspective that I'm supposed to take a look at it from. Which makes it which makes it super, super, super difficult to find like right, to find how the mediators mediated between Iran and the U.S. Like, how did the I don't know, the Algerian foreign secretary at the time didn't sit down and write me like a 4-page analysis of the players involved and like what was he thinking and like what tactics did he use. I have to like go in and find the actual like behaviors of the individuals who were engaging in the direct communications with each other or indirect communications with each other to be like, well, right, they could have used this terminology, or they could have asked for this, or they should have insisted, or they should have ignored because of, you know, this literature says this and that literature says that, and because, you know, force, you should, if you're you should have used, this was a moment in which you should have like threatened force because you have the credibility, or whatever, right? And so that's the specific aspect from which I'm supposed to be looking at it, which turns out Iranian hostage crisis, probably not the best example of that, even though it's very, very entertaining, and I'm like, I definitely have 4,000 words worth of opinions on this, but more importantly, why one of my primary sources, well, secondary sources, these are secondary sources all, but one of my sources is, so we all do this, right? When we write an academic paper, we decide on a topic, we go and read the entirety of the Wikipedia article on it, because bless up Wikipedia, right? And I read the entirety of the Wikipedia article on it. I find two reasonably on point, like I find two articles who like that actually discuss what I want them to discuss, and so I find those two articles and I read those two articles, and it turns out that they also only source newspaper articles and primary sources, which I'm like, okay, this is fine, I guess. Works, I see. But what ended up happening is that I ended up having the absolute pleasure of having to go through the entirety, but I found this set of articles, really. There was a New York Times special edition in 81 called America in Captivity. So if anyone wants a link to read this, because it's truly a gem of journalistic work, I'm not gonna lie. Let me know, I'll send you the link. But so in it discusses about how the entire crisis made the United States lose its identity, and lose its identity in all the important aspects, right? From during the Cold War, which, right, this is right smack in the middle of the Cold War, we just got out. We are just barely getting out of the whole Cuba fiasco and the whole Cuban Revolution and how to deal with that. And there was the first oil crisis happened in 1973. So we're just 6 years post that, and the entirety of the country is still very, very much so nervous, right? We're not out of the Cold War yet. We still have another 10 years to go, but the entire panic of identity and how we just spent 20 plus years defending the virtues of freedom and civilization and capitalism and everything that's good in the world in Vietnam, and yet these 53 lives in Tehran, in our embassy, are worth the entirety of the national honor, right? During the period of time, Jimmy Carter was, I would like to think, unrivaled in his attempting to appease the entirety of the Iranian government. He agreed to things that presidents would blanch at, honestly. Like, I'm still kind of reeling that he agreed to all demands, or functionally almost all demands, besides giving up the Shah, and like formally apologizing, which, if he did, would be, the United States would have been a laughingstock for and very like a very long period of time. But really the important thing is that everything up to that, the United States agreed to. The United States agreed to not put actual sanctions on Iran, not to badmouth the Ayatollah, not to badmouth Khamenei, not to supply Saudi Arabia with extra military, not to back Iraq. The United States, in the middle of, well, not even the United States, the Jimmy Carter, the Carter administration. It's Carter. The Carter administration, when the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan, and there was some pressure on Iran because it seemed like Iran might be next. The United States openly said, Iran, you have nothing to worry from Afghanistan or the Soviet Union, because it doesn't matter what is going on between us, we will fly in and defend you from the evils of communism. Which, okay, all right. You have 53 of our hostages, but hello, welcome. No worries. I'm talking about the Iranian hostage crisis because honestly, right, I'm leading up to this one quote that I read, but more importantly, again, 53 hostages. You have 53 hostages, but yet here you are being like, here's the Carter administration being like, no, we'll defend you. If anything happens, we'll defend you from communism, Iran, we promise. Which I guess if it didn't work, which I was gonna say if it works for you, but no, it did not work. Fun fact: the hostages did not get released until much later, until the day of Reagan's inauguration, because everyone, and I mean everyone, was terrified of Reagan, which guess is good. Guess worked in the U.S.'s favor. For some time, but anyway, so I'm reading this article and it's talking about all these things, and they're all very important things. And in the middle of this article is a very, very great quote that was told to the author some time back, and it goes, "We are not simply what we appear to be, but what we appear to be is indeed a large part of what we really are." And the next paragraph goes on to talk about how if we put on a mask, if we pretend to be something, it becomes a part of us, which really ties into the whole entire aspect of if you tell yourself a lie often enough, you'll believe it. And part of the reason why positive affirmations work, and they do work. If you look at yourself in the mirror every single morning and tell yourself you are beautiful, even if you don't believe it, even if you don't believe it, if you say it with a silly face, even if you just disregard it and you do it as part of routine, there will be a moment in which you will look at yourself in the mirror and you will actually begin to believe it. And your opinion of yourself will actually change. And I think it's fascinating about how often we actually get put in positions where we don't believe that we're strong, we don't believe that we're brave, we don't believe that we can do it, but we put on a brave face, we stick it, and we go for it and do it anyway. And so what? And we go and do it anyway. And as a result, I think it's there was a point to this. There was a point to this entire thing, right? And the result is that like a lot of people, because they have this doubt and because they're like, no, I don't know if I can do it, but then they go do it anyway, right? Have imposter syndrome. And so they believe that they're not actually meant to be there. They're not actually good enough. But I really think that this idea again that we're not simply what we appear to be, but what we appear to be is indeed a very large part of what we really are. Really, mollifies that. Mollifies your ideas of like self doubt, because even if you pretend to be qualified and competent, and even if you're not sure that you're qualified and competent, the fact that you appear to be a part of the community, the fact that you appear to be successful at your job, the fact that you appear to be generally put together, generally capable, smart, intelligent, hardworking, focused, determined, whatever, is enough. It is, in fact, at least, if it's not all that you are, it is at least a determining factor. It is at least an important aspect of you at this point, because even if you think it's fake, even if, you're like me and you believe in fake it till you make it, and you might be actually trembling, but guess what? You're going to get up on that stage and speak to all the people, then the fact that you got up there and the fact that you were confident, you look confident while doing it, means that you're confident. You're at least a little bit confident. You at least have those skills to appear to be confident, which is 90% of the path there. And I think that's going to be my motivational speech for the day. And now on to much more, not much more interesting things. Everything is interesting, but much more frivolous things. Namely, all of you should be ashamed with me. I have caved, and my student loan came in. This actually it comes in on Monday officially, but it came in this week. It got dropped off in the university this week. And so I bought myself, in fact, a Nintendo Switch. Bought myself the Lite. So does anyone remember PSPs? The original Nintendo Lite, except except they were out like 10 years ago, maybe more. I think it was more because I was a very small child. Right, yeah, you remember those, right? So a Nintendo Lite is essentially a PSP revamped. I will not be taking any questions at this moment, because wild. Right, right, but it is okay. So Chris just said that it was just the last game's console keyed, but yeah, no, right? The Switch Lite is a revamped PSP, and I will not be taking questions, and I will not be hearing arguments. Oh my God! What is Shrek car? What is Shrek car race? Wait, somebody, can we find a video? Can somebody find me a video? I don't want to like go off the stream and like be unfocused, but like somebody send me a video of somebody playing Shrek, or I'll find it. Actually, it'll be fine. But Shrek car race on the PSP. Anyone own? Besides Al, of course, but anyone own that? Anyone has big memories of that? Because I feel like that would be something that Tumblr and Twitter would just eat up. Twitter would love that stuff, or just would absolutely eat that stuff up. But yeah, so wild. Okay, right. Imagine yourself here. But yeah, so I caved, and so I got myself the Switch Lite. I also got myself Animal Crossing, because what kind of depressed game would I be if I didn't get myself Animal Crossing with it? So they're here. They've actually arrived. An hour and 25 minutes ago, I got the email from Amazon that they're in the drop-off location for me to pick up. The little Amazon lockers that you see like Whole Foods, right? We have two of those on campus, which is very exciting because it means that I can order things and they get delivered on Sunday or whatever day of the week. And I know that I shouldn't be supporting mega corporations. I really do know that I should not be supporting mega corporations, but also, right, all the couriers and carriers still have jobs, and I feel like it's good to support all the people who still have jobs, who really do need those jobs, which is why, I do continue to order Deliveroo, even though it's been proven that they are, a very unscrupulous company, and continue ordering from Amazon because, they employ people. And that's important, even though we should absolutely eat Jeff Bezos, and we should absolutely, give that wealth to other people because, no, he profited $24 billion over the course of the last month and a half. So those $24 billion were on top of the usual revenue he gets, which I feel is absolutely justification to eat the rich. But, that's just me. But I am very excited for my Switch Lite because once this stream is done, the first thing I'll be putting on flip-flops and I'll be heading straight out to go pick it up. And once I, get my island all set up and looking pretty, with the support of all of my friends who also play it, and Zoe, who owes me a very detailed walkthrough and full support because she just got the companion guide to Animal Crossing through her. Right, I almost just dipped my hair into my tea, so I'm going to keep my tea out in front of me right now. But once I figure out how to do this, if I ever figure out how to do this, there will be, I might just, stream an hour of me casually playing the game and talking nonsense about whatever's going on in the world at that moment. Anyone have any updates? Anyone read any good books? Anyone have any good suggestions for, the general community? Messages of hope, support, anything positive they wish to share? Because honestly, my week has been actually pretty great. I have your remark. Ooh, okay. That sounds really great. That sounds actually fascinating. What is it about? I was gonna hopefully answer in the live stream, but I'm gonna continue on. Oh, my phone's so sorry. Give me a hot second. My phone's vibrating with right, yeah, nothing of particular importance. Ooh, right. So Natasha just sent me pictures of her cat sitting on her lap, which thank you so much. They're honestly gems. She's a gem. Also, if you need, more photos of cats, go subscribe to Natasha's photo channel. No, photography Instagram. There we go. There are the words. If you want to drop that into the live chat, Natasha, that'd be great, because I think it's like photos_NLM. Remind me if I'm right or wrong. I think I'm right. I'm pretty positive I'm right. 10 out of 10. Peak art. Peak photographic art. What else? Send me your pets, please. I would like to see your pets. Right, there we go. Photos_NLM. I see, look at me. I did remember something. Look at that. That's wonderful. And here we are at 30 minutes. Okay, so I can't talk for at least 30 minutes nonstop without taking a break, without having a topic in mind, which is really, really exciting. But so for this upcoming week, what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna. Okay, so I finished my first knitting project. I said it at the very beginning of the stream before anyone actually got online, but it was at the very beginning of the stream I mentioned that I finished my knitting project, and you can't see it because it's not fully put together yet, because I underordered one ball of yarn, which is very upsetting. And it's like a 2-pound ball of yarn too, so it was like should have gotten extra. Didn't think about it. Next time I'll know. Also, I need to email somebody. Remind me to email these people about the fact that their pattern is wrong, and that they do need, in fact, more balls of yarn, or skeins of yarn. It's balls of yarn. It's balls of yarn because you can actually like pull the thread and it comes undone. And so I'll be starting my next project probably Tuesday or whenever my next order of yarn arrives. Will it be soon? Who knows? It's been in Copenhagen. How do you pronounce? Right. So, okay. The difficulty of being truly bilingual is the fact that there are words that you pronounce wrong. Like, more accurately, there are things, it's mostly like city and country titles that I pronounce consistently wrong, like Copenhagen or Copenhagen. Copenhagen. Oh, that's right. That's how I pronounce it. Thank you. Right. Yes. No. See, it's a universal thing because in Russian it's Copenhagen, which sounds close enough to what it looks like written in English that I'm like, so it's Copenhagen with an H, right? Okay. Yeah, no, right, doesn't it? So it's Copenhagen. So the river the Thames is pronounced Tiamza. Which why for the so when I said it okay. Gary Potter. Right, you're gonna laugh at me for this, but my first Harry Potter book was in fact in Russian. And so the first time I pronounced that at a friend in English, I actually did say Gary Potter. And I don't think that wasn't forgotten for at least a year and a half until I moved out of that school district, because everyone still remembered me as that girl, like, and they all made fun of me too because like, oh, Gary Potter, and I was just like, you know what? Not my fault. The fact that H is pronounced with a G in every other in Russian, it just is. It's not my fault. And so yeah, that was a fun time. That was a very, very fun time. So right, but about the Thames. So the first time I said Thames out loud in English, I pronounced it. How did I pronounce Thames? I pronounced it Temse, which, if you're from England, more accurately, if you're the other Chris, you know how, if any of you who like actually like heard a British person say the Thames or the Thames or the Thames or whatever, however the hell you pronounce that thing, but when you hear that, like, you'll hear him pronounce it, it's just wrong every which way I try to say it, it's just wrong. But it is what it is. But anyway, Copenhagen. Is it Hagen or Hagen? Or is it like Hagen-Dazs? Yes, this is in fact like, wait, right. Somebody Privacy. Privacy. Right, privacy is wrong. It's privacy, and I will not have any arguments on this in my live chat. Thank you very much. It's privacy because it's an I, because there's one V, it's one consonant and there's a vowel afterward. The vowel makes the I long. It's privacy, not privacy, because privacy would mean that there's like the double V in there. Privacy, which is not how it's spelled. It's all I have to say. You know what? I know that there's more than one way to pronounce I, but it's fine. Waitrose. So, right, here's going to be 3 different soundings of that word that the other Chris put into the chat just now. By just now, I mean like a solid 3 minutes ago at this point. So Waitrose, this is the way I pronounce it, is honestly it's the Whole Foods. It's the Whole Foods of England. It's overpriced and very bougie, and it's very nice and has all those organic products and whatever. It's everyone knows exactly what I mean. But when I say it's truly the Whole Foods of England. But anyway, someone insists that it's pronounced Waitrose, which is the most un-British pronunciation I have ever heard, because the Brits don't pronounce half the word in the middle. Al, you're right. Marks and Spencer is gold. It is in fact the best food, is Marks and Spencer. I completely agree. But Waitrose carries non-branded stuff, or branded stuff, not their brand stuff, but other branded stuff, which is very important to me, because namely for cleaning supplies. That's the real reason why I was in Waitrose. That's true that their yogurt is very, very good. And they also do, Waitrose also does a San Francisco sourdough, which, if you've ever met me, which all of you have met me, know that, San Francisco is forever in my heart. If anything's ever branded in San Francisco while I'm not in San Francisco, I'll probably buy it. I probably will buy it at least once. It is what it is. It's fine. But much more importantly, right. The British don't pronounce half the word in the middle. So pronouncing Waitrose with that enunciated T in the middle is just obnoxious and un-British, I would like to just say. And so here's Waitrose, which has the T in it, because otherwise it would be Wayrose, which Wayrose and Waitrose and Waitrose are 3 entirely different things, and the middle one is obviously the correct way to say it. But then again, I don't live here, and I have no actual investment in how this is supposed to be pronounced. I would just like to say that when I say Waitrose, the T is there. You just can't hear it because of the R. It's like Solnushka, or like Solnse and Solnushka. The L is technically there. If it wasn't there, you would say it wrongly, but you can't hear it because of the consonant that comes after it. And, it's fine. Okay. Right, how I'm going to fill out the next 20 minutes. Okay. All right. You know what? So Chris just said in the chat, if you can't be bothered to read the chat, but Chris just said in the chat that given the option, I try to choose a pronunciation that pisses off the most of my friends, which honestly, good job. Very good job. I'm very proud of you for that. You know what? That is the easiest way to have a lot of fun. I definitely did that with something. I absolutely do remember doing that with something. I just can't remember what I do it with. I will insist on Waitrose being pronounced Waitrose. I need to water my plants. Do you ever just... So I buy flowers to stand in my room. Because I love flowers, love having flowers around. And tulips here are like dirt cheap, especially given that it's tulip season. And so I just always buy myself a vase of tulips. And do you ever just not know what to do with flowers after like they're standing, they're about to like wilt and like have all the petals drop off. And I always am just at such a loss to like justify to myself what to do with the flowers afterwards, because I know you can like press them and dry them out and like do all that other fun stuff with them, but I just never had the confidence to do that. Also, because tulips seem not the best flower to do that with. Just because they're so flimsy and delicate. But the stem is really thick, and so I don't feel like it would do well to just flatten it or dry it out. So if you have any suggestions on what to do with old flowers besides, transplanting them. But tulips are bulb flowers, so you can't actually like transplant them or make them grow roots, which is mildly upsetting. Yeah. So okay, wait, no, I'm gonna continue what I started with, because honestly, I can talk about the American foreign policy for ages and a half. Could I really? Because I don't feel like you can try, because I don't feel like you can at least not like press flowers. I don't think you can do press flowers with tulips, or not well. But then again, I've never tried. I always really want to do that, like press them in books, but also I have the tiniest of book collections. Right, you can see my entire right there they are. See that red one? It starts with the red one, and then it goes up to the little toy car. That is it. That is my entire book collection. It's like 6 books. It's very upsetting. I don't know how to handle myself, but I feel bad. Okay, lilies. I heard that lilies are fine. Lilies like stand there for a while. Or actually, no, they're just I think they're just as flimsy as tulips. Huh? Maybe. I'll think about that. I have that copy of War and Peace that I could probably press everything with. But I've always seen. Okay, I don't know if this is a universal thing in the U.S., but has anyone had the Daring Book for Girls gifted to them at a young age? It would be blue with black lettering, like a blue hardcover with black lettering. Looks a little outdated, with like silver script on it, and it was just you read it through like 3 times, and you never got to do anything in the book because it's like outdoorsy stuff, and your parents wouldn't let you outside alone, but you always really wanted to like learn how to do everything in there. They had this I clearly remember this beautiful illustration of how to make your own flower press, and like how you like drill the holes and get the nuts and bolts, and you like put it together and you like press it and you like twist the bolt so that it sticks together, and you keep it like that for like an extended period of time. Then it's done and it's all pretty looking, and you could like make your own. I've always really, really wanted to do that, but also, how? Do people like, it always fascinates me, right? You see those like Pinterest moms, and you see those blogger moms with like, oh yeah, this weekend we, I don't know, put together a shed out of the spare wood we had in the backyard. Is that just like a suburban myth? Is that like a thing that like people in the middle, like, who does that? Where are these people? Where are these fascinating blogger moms? Actually, I think I know where, because my favorite food blogger, I don't know if I can even call her a food blogger, but she has her own show on Food Network now, so I think I can. Her website is My Name is Molly Yeah, spelled YEH.com. Honestly, if you ever need a recipe for a cake, she has one standard recipe that she uses, and she just kind of mixes it up depending on the flavors. Just go there, just do it. It's super simple. I made a chocolate cake recently, and it was like phenomenal. Again, she's wonderful. I literally love all her. I love all of her cooking. It's all it's all so good. It's all so good. Oh, I should make myself cinnamon rolls. That's what I should do. Big brain idea right there. But cinnamon rolls. What was I? Molly, yeah, food bloggers. Right. Okay. So, right. Molly, yeah, who lives on a farm in the middle of nowhere, has like 7 acres of land with between her and her husband and her 3 little kids. And like at least an acre of that is just full-blown forest. Because the pictures and videos, like there's videos of her being like, oh yeah, I just dug a hole in the middle of my forest. I think I put the can of whatever in the hole, covered it up, labeled it, and just walked away for like 3 weeks. And then I came back and dug it up, and it was very like, and it is just fascinating to me, like just the juxtaposition. Molly, yeah, YEH. My name is Molly, yeah, or my name is yeah. Actually, is her website. My name is yeah, YEH. She's great. Actually, she's all of her food stuff is wonderful. She taught her videos taught me how to make buttercream flowers. If I've ever shown off to you my ability to bake and make buttercream flowers, you would know how good they are. Perfect. Honestly, a domestic goddess I am. Thank you very much. But and so it's just every time it just absolutely fascinates me, the juxtaposition of like using these really, really traditional old school methods with like the modernity of the internet and high quality cameras and your KitchenAid and the multitude of gadgets you can get on Amazon, Wish, Wilton and Co. All of that, right? And it's honestly just wild to me at any given moment about how much you can try to get yourself back to those to those traditional root methods, to like going ahead and I don't even know, to like go back to like a pre-industrialized methods, but your ability to do so is still fully dependent on like being able to go to the grocery store and being able to going out and being able to buy things, or being able to buy or find specialty items somewhere online. And the fact that you need specialty items to do it at this point, because for example, right, my grandmother on my mother's side, she had 32 giant 2-liter glass pickling jars. There was 32 of them, and God forbid one broke, because she had those 32 jars for give or take 17 years. And all of her pickling every single year, anything, any preserves, all of that was done in all those jars, and they got reused and reused and reused and reused, and you couldn't buy new ones. And you couldn't find new ones either. Like, you couldn't go to the store and get them. But right, like I wanted to make some pickles recently, and so what did I do? I went to the store, our local Wilco's, which is the has anyone been to the US? Can anyone like tell me what Wilco's is? There a Wilco's equivalent in the US? What would it be? It's like this. It's like Bed Bath and Beyond, except not. It's like more homey. It's like more home oriented than Bed Bath and Beyond. Bed Bath and Beyond is more linens oriented. It's kind of like a Target. No, because Target has clothes. Target's fun. It has clothes. It's not like a Target. What would it be like? Wilco's. If you know what it is, you know what it is. If you don't know what it is, the important thing is that they do home stuff, and that's where you usually go if you need plates, or if you need jars, or if you need like pillows, you go to Wilco's. And so I went to Wilco's and I got myself my 3 jars, and one of them recently broke, and I'm lamenting about how I can't go to Wilco's to get myself another jar. Right, and it's things like that. No, Williams Sonoma is entirely too right. No. This is like not bougie. This is the definition of not bougie. This is like a layer under TJ Maxx. Definitely not Williams and Sonoma. Williams and Sonoma is so nice. God, when I dream about my future house and home, I sit there and go through the Williams and Sonoma kitchen appliances catalog, and I cry every single time, because I know that, you know what, I probably won't be able to afford. It's not a Target. It's not a Target. A Target has clothes. Wilco's does not have clothes. It's like the household section of Target. Except like the not fun tout. It's like but it's basically Target. It almost carries. It's the same quality and same function and price as Target, but less food, significantly less food. Unless you live in unless you go to like one of those not grocery section Targets, and one without clothes in it as well. That being said, Target is honestly the MVP of American stores. Just straight up the MVP of American stores. Love it. Very miss it. Very, very, very deeply miss it every time I'm gone. But yeah, so I was going somewhere with this Wilco's, but it's just interesting to me. It's just fascinating to me how reliant we are on both modernity and modernity to escape the imposition of modern technology on us. Right? We can't just not open our. Yeah, it's like a Target, but with a much narrower. Yeah, it's just exactly. It's I miss Target. Do you guys? So whenever you're abroad, do you ever just miss a certain store? Do you miss just going in? Like, I'm gonna go home whenever I go home, and I'm just gonna walk into Target and I'm gonna break down sobbing. I can feel it. so recently, so I went shopping yesterday for steady snacks, and I was in my local grocery store. That's closer. That's essentially local grocery store, and I desperately, desperately, desperately wanted to buy myself a 12 pack of Crayola colored pencils. Just stupidly so. Like I looked at them like honestly, I miss propaganda. I really, really, really miss propaganda. That's what I miss about just Moscow. But that's on a separate. But anyway, I was looking, and so like I noticed. I don't know. Oh, I also miss right. I miss Trader Joe's frozen foods because British frozen food just doesn't hit the spot like Trader Joe's does. They don't have like the good fit. Also, they don't have large packs here. They don't have like a family sized bag of I don't know frozen tortellini in sauce already in sauce or like mushroom linguine or frozen clams. Like they just don't. They just have two people portions, and I'm just I would like it to be so I can eat a portion and a half and then have at least two portions left over. Please, Britain, figure it out. But yeah, so I was going somewhere with this. Where was I going with this? Does anyone remember? Anyway, there's 4 minutes left. Trader Joe's frozen. Okay, so I saw some recent news that says that Trader Joe's is using the pandemic to do some union busting, which is making me very, very, very upset because isn't Trader Joe's like Trader Joe's is from California, and I know that means nothing, and I know that that's like elitist as all hell. Like California is elitist as all hell, but also like please hold up the Pacific the values of the Pacific Northwest. Don't union Trader Joe's don't union bust, please. That's bad, especially as what we're going through right now. Like yeah, Natasha, I also live when I'm home, I also live with so there's stuffed gnocchi. There something modernity mood. So Trader Joe's stuffed gnocchi. If you've ever gone saw stuffed gnocchi, if you love yourself, just what you do is you buy yourself a full bag. You're gonna eat the full bag, I promise you. What you do is according to instructions, you dump a little bit of water, you steam them, you make them so that and then right before they're ready, you chuck in as much butter as you feel like, a little bit of garlic, and or actually, however much garlic you want. Chuck in however much garlic you want. Put in some garlic. Some garlic, the butter, and some sage. If you have sage, basil works great too. And then you just fry them until they're just barely crispy on the outside. Oh. Just do yourselves a favor. The next time any of you are, have access to Natasha, don't make me jealous like this. I have nothing I have homemade pelmeni in the freezer, which still need to be assembled. So they're gonna stay in the freezer for the foreseeable future, but it is what it is. But just treat yourself to some goodness in a frying pan. They're like $3 for a full bag. It's gonna be honestly some of the best food you're gonna eat in the United States, unless you're going out to I don't know, Gott's. But I miss So I found out on Friday. I found out on Friday that Five Guys is now closed for the foreseeable future, and so I am not going to be able to have a good burger for the foreseeable future, which is making me very, very upset. I'm also very, very saddened by the fact that I also really miss In-N-Out. I just miss food, you guys. I just miss going out. I know that going out isn't a personality trait, but you know what? I'm never going to be able to take for granted the fact that I can go out and, spend some money on some food and sit in a restaurant and consume it. All right, we've hit exactly 1 hour, which means that extravagant Trader Joe's. Yeah, it's mwah, chef's kiss. Everyone, please keep yourself safe. Keep yourself sane. Do some yoga. If you don't want to do some yoga, do some meditation. If you don't want to do some meditation, read a nice book. If you don't want to read, do something that will chill you out. Take a nice bath, light some candles, take a walk, keeping at least 6 feet or 2 meters away from everyone else around you. Cuddle your pets. Squeeze out the toe beans. Squeeze the toe beans on your cats. Remember that life is good and everything's blooming right now. And you know what? Even if we can't see the flowers in person, they're out there, and the fauna and flora, or the fauna, is enjoying themselves dearly. I'm really hoping that the lack of pollution is gonna, at least help the bees a little. Hopefully. We can't afford to lose any more bees. It's fine. All my love, all my support. If anyone wants to talk for me for whatever reason, if anyone needs, support, statements of positivity, reminders that you're wonderful and phenomenal and smart and can achieve anything you set your mind to, I am here. My chats are open. I, don't ignore people, not on purpose at least, or I will tell you I'm ignoring you on purpose. But all my love, everyone. I hope everyone has a wonderful week, and I'll see you all next time.